properties. Okay, I think my mic should be good now. Um, yeah, hi. Hope you're doing good. Hope your social isolation is going as planned. I got a ton of replays to go through, so let's do it. First replay from Time Lord with zchaffins, Donmer, and MR Defender. So Time Lord and MR Defender have been in the Dark Dynasty clan for a long time, and then zchaffins is he's getting there. So yeah, so Time Lord is a very strong Ika Claw player. He's brought Ika Claw in tournaments before, and he's one of Time Lord's favorite lords. So I'm not surprised to see that come through there. I think he likes the machinations and scheming of him. Chaffins is endeared to Grimgor, and he's been playtesting the crap out of Grimgor, trying different builds, um, seeing if he can get it to work. And he's definitely gotten better. I've been playing against Z Chaffins in a bunch of games lately, and going up against his Grimgor builds. So yeah, he's getting there. And I'm not familiar with the is it the Bretonian player? I think MR Defender is playing Skaven here. So we've got the Giselles, the Bubos. No, sorry, Time Lord's playing Skaven. MR he's on a bit of a dark elf tilt, I think. So this must be MR Defender. So what do we got here? Dark Riders with repeated crossbows right off the bat, gonna put some shots into the human archers, and they're gonna use the benefit of fire and just more weapon damage to be able to take these guys out. These guys kind of need to scoot and shoot, whereas these guys they'll do more damage, but they don't have that mobility to match the human archers. Dark Rider's going to chase them, and it's going to be a foot race. They're both super fast units, but with the charge bonus, the Dark Riders probably should be able to catch them. But on the other hand, the Yeomen are going to cover a lot of ground before that happens, so maybe they'll slip back into the safety of their spear screen. Some shots are coming in here from the Zap cannon. I don't know if it's the best use of the Zap cannon ammo. On the other hand, these guys have pretty poverty leadership. So, I mean, if they do take a few more model losses, they are going to break. Dark Riders are going to peel back here, though, because they see the Hippogriffs coming over here along with the support of King Lu and Kerr. So a bit of a tight situation for them. But the Zap cannon has been able to bait these more high-value units over there. So I'm sure if these guys were to get in range, the Zap would just simply switch targets. Over here we got Chaffins making his move with his chariots, which he likes to screen. He did bring the Arachnarok Spider, which is a unit I think he just recently got access to. So I think he's kind of experimenting with that, trying to get used to that unit and see how it goes. He's going to drop an early Spider summon here, maybe just to snare some stuff and soak some damage. One trick with the spider hatch is you can drop them in the back line too, get some rear charges, but they do have also poverty leadership, so there's a chance they crumble out too. Who knows? It gets pushed up to the woods and just tries to secure that the safety of the woods, which is not a bad play there. He of course does have the support of the Warlock Engineer, and the Warlock Engineer has that Auric armor, which is going to give that Mortis engine effect and just cause anything that blobs in here to take a lot of damage. And it also has the Howling Warp Gale. So that will give him an answer to any airplay from the Bretonians. If they do fly their lords over here, they can drop that snare. The warp lightning, sorry, the Zap cannon has retargeted onto the Damsel of Life. That's an excellent choice of target from Time Lord, and if he is able to take the Damsel of Life out, that's going to help a lot. Of course, the Damsel does look like she's on foot. She is going to make her way over to the trees, so a nice counterplay by the Bretonian player here. There's a lot going on, and I'm kind of getting screened out by the trees. I don't want to shortchange zchaffins over here. So what's going on over here? We've got Giselles, who have just probably revealed themselves to the Arachnarok and the Skaven Slave Singers. So my advice to zchaffins, if you are going to bring the Arachnarok, keep it in your back line, and then use it to pin stuff, and then lead with your front line. It's like any kind of special type of unit. You don't want to lead with your expensive, high-value things. You want to keep them in the back line, use the spider summons for early game just to snare things, and then use the terror to break things off late game. So right now it's taking a lot of damage, maybe lost about 30% of its HP. Rat Ogres are going to contribute to that as well. So a little bit of a tough situation there for the Orcs. Over here, we've got some Bretonia Fire going into the woods. I think they're trying to shoot the Council Guard, but the Council Guard are on a bit of a downslope. They do have the screen of the woods, so Time Lord taking full advantage of the terrain. Is there anything on the Bretonia roster that's going to be able to clear this out of the way? There are Skaven Slaves here, going up against Men-at-Arms. it's kind of going to be a wash here. Bleak Swords are going to win against these spears. They're going to win against these men at arms. So these Bretonnian archers do not have long to sit here. Elmar is definitely making his move with the Pharaoh Manticores, Cold One Knights, and other things. Just basically running over these battle pilgrims and men at arms. So a lot of problems the Bretonnians are going to have on this left flank over here. And I think things are starting to go in the favor of the Dark Elves and Skaven, but we shall see. Some shots coming in here. Lewin's going to try and get a counterplay, but is he diving into Witch Elves? Because that's a really dangerous place for him to be. We'll see if the Witch Elves get the tag off in there. I don't think they will. Lewin will escape to safety, but he does take some damage in return. How's the Arachnarok Queen doing? Actually better than expected. I guess she was able to break the Rat Ogres once the infantry arrived, or actually the Rat Ogres, maybe they fell back here. 2 units of infantry are blobbing up here. I don't know, but yeah, now the Arachnarok's fighting in the support of her infantry. She's not taking all the damage from the Rat Ogres. This time they're going to break. That terror is really, really helpful against the Rat Ogres. So we're going to see if these Bubos start to get compromised. Over here is Iket's up to his machinations. He's going to drop some, the orb down here. The Hell Pit's also going to basically beat the crap out of everything that comes in here, but Giant's nearby. Giant versus Hell Pit should be a hell of a scrap. Of course, the Orc Shaman can buff that Giant as well. No, he can't. It does not have the melee attack buff, so that would have been cool to see the melee attack buff up on the Giant, going in there and dishing it out. Over here, Bleak Swords have been pushing into the Bretonnian backline, basically screening them out. I think these guys are on a bit of a suicide mission. Meanwhile, they have occupied 4 or 5 units, so even if they do get suicided, it's not the worst. That other flank is completely collapsed for the Bretonnians. Really tough situation. King Luankar is like, he's getting screened by the Zap Zap cannon. I think he's trying to dive the Zap Zap cannon, but if I were Bretonnia, my recommendation would be bring Lewin and the flying squad to the other side, so that the Zap Zap cannon has to shoot through the trees instead of getting clear shots at you. I mean, look at how much damage he's taking, even with that missile resist and the heals. Over here, the Arachnarok Queen is tied up on some chaff. It does have the mass to just push through. So if I were zchaffins, I would just be like force pathing my way right into those Giselles just to lock them up, or I would make the decision to pull back. But I mean, being in that middle ground is not ideal for the Arachnarok. So I think the Arachnarok's going to go down soon. Over here, there's some Savage Orcs. I'm not sure where they got pulled to, some Black Orcs. Maybe they weren't on guard mode or something, and they chased some rats off into the distance, which led to the Arachnarok getting a little bit separated from the rest of the army. Over here, Grimgor has decided to go in here and help out in a fight against the Hell Pit and the Warlock and Iket. The Giant is going to take some damage here. Of course, the Hell Pit and Iket both have anti-large, and it looks like the Giant needs to be continuously reminded that he needs to attack the important targets here. I do think he started smashing some battle programs, and of course he can do damage there, but that damage from the Giant really needs to be going into the Hell Pit Abomination, into Iket, and especially into this Warlock Engineer, just to get that Mortis Engine effect off of the map, because it is chipping down everything. So I do think the Giant's been reminded of his task. He's going to get in a nice whack there on the Hell Pit Abomination, but it's a pretty tough scrap here because there's no infantry support. The Black Orcs are coming over here, but they're a little bit late. And of course, the Black Orcs are going to take damage from the Orc armor from the Warlock Engineer. Well, here goes. Orc Shaman, Espot, here we go. On the Black Orcs plus the Giant, that's going to be a really big fight. Over here, Iket. Oh, sorry, I thought Iket was in the other ball, but he's not. He's actually been caught out with the Goblin Big Boss and some Savage Orcs. So, yeah, maybe that's why the Hell Pit Abomination is taking so much damage. But he's certainly tying up a lot of resources, and every second that ticks away that with this Warlock Engineer active, a lot of damage is being taken to these Black Orcs. So it would be nice, I think, if this Warlock Engineer could be taken out first, and then maybe the Hell Pit after that. Perhaps Grimgor could focus the Warlock Engineer and the Giant smash the Hell Pit just to give them mass. Who knows? Over here, Wog does get popped because Grimgor has been active, propping his boys. And the Goblin Big Boss is doing a lot of work on Iket Claw. So actually, nice plays by zchaffins in here. He is giving the Skaven a lot to deal with. But Bretonnia is completely collapsing on this far flank. And our defender is about to finish off King Luankar, I think. All that's left really is this Royal Hippogriffs. And that's pretty much it. I did not see what happened to the rest of that the ammo from the Zap Zap cannon. Maybe he did eventually break it off, but I think this is where the money fight is right now, at least the fight that I find the most fun to watch. It's Grimgor smashing some stuff. So let's see. Can is he going to chase the Warlock Engineer? The foot speed of the Skaven is definitely coming into play there. Grimgor was unable to finish off the Warlock Engineer. He's cranking up to 47 foot speed, and that's kind of the limitation if you go with a Foot Lord like Grimgor and low speed, right? If he does get on his target, sure, he'll beat the snot out of it, but he's going to spend a lot of time chasing after stuff too. So that's where you need those hatchlings from the Ragnarok Spider, because if the Ragnarok Spider hatchlings are active, he just sends the hatchlings after the Warlock Engineer. He can't kite you, or he'll be chased off, assuming that the hatchlings don't crumble. The Shades are going to be probably able to take out the Giant now that the Giant's being pulled into the open and away from the trees. So, fortunately for Time Lord, his Warlock Engineer ended up kind of running to the safety of the Dark Elves, and I do think the Dark Elves will be able to mop things up from here. I do have a lot of replays to go through, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I will give Grimgor his fair moment in the spotlight. Watch him whack a few Blackguard, but I think we know which way this is going at this point in time, because Bretonnia is shattered completely. But I mean, I think Greenskins were still pretty healthy, but it is a team game with 2v2s, and yeah, you need allies are important. So Grimgor is going to get punked here. And Terror Routed from the Hell Pit, and that's it. I'm gonna end this one here. I think we know who won that one, and we'll hop on to the next one. So well played to Time Lord, and MR Defender was the Bretonnian. I was wrong, man. MR Defender got smashed by Dark Elves then. Sorry, MR. I was completely wrong, dude. MR, yeah, rotate your stuff over to the other side of the trees, and bring a Foot Squire or two, or some Cav, so that you can interrupt the Bleak Swords. The Bleak Swords, I mean, I think they caused a lot of problems. I didn't see what these Corsairs were doing. Maybe I missed that. So yeah, this one goes to Time Lord and Donmar, and Zchaffins and MR, well played. I'm going to get on to the next one. So this is featuring zchaffins as Norska this time. Maybe it's the same squad here. I'm assuming MR Defender's Lizardman then, because he was playing with Zchaffins last time. I do not know the Dark Elf player, so we shall see. All right, what do we got here? So individual entity powerhouse from Time Lord to three phoenixes up in the air. We've got archers, we've got a front screen of Lyrian Reavers, ×3. So very thin front line. Just 3 spears. That's the only thing that can fight, and all of the money is in individual entities pretty much for Time Lord. Over here we have Dreadlord, Sword and Crossbow, and a Death Hag, and a couple units of Cav back. Kind of a weird mix of an army here. Black Orc Corsairs. These are not the Corsairs with handbows. Does he have handbows in the back? Because we saw them last time. There's a handbow here. There's a Dark Rider repeater crossbow. Playing pretty safe, actually, in the far back. Looks like Time Lord and the Dark Elves are going to try and square off over on this far edge here. Lizardmen are going to hustle over here, though. They are fairly mobile. They've got a mostly skink front line in this case, and the Razordon Hunting Pack, which can certainly dish out a ton of damage. That AP shooting could be very helpful against the High Elves if they're able to not just get Cycle Charge, which is a big if. Now, kind of the Wanderer is here. There's double Reviv Crystals, but I don't know. Are they going to stay alive? I think they're going to have to stay really close to this unit of Temple Guard. There's probably Manticore summons here from the Skink Priest of Beast. No, Curse of Hair and Wise Fan. So no Manticore summons. Bit of a surprise there. Can always be useful against High Elves because of all the individual entities they can bring. Let's see how this flank fight goes here with Zchaffins and the Dark Elf player. So the Marauder Horse Masters looks like they get in range, or tried to get in range to chuck some shots there, but the Dark Elf is going to pull back here. Sends in the Black Ark Corsairs, who are going to take some shots to the face here. I'm assuming they're going to start shooting. They do not have shields, and they're about 600 gold, so that's a pretty expensive throwaway unit here. Let's see, does Zchaffins have skirmish mode on? It does not look like it. And oh yeah, there he goes. He's going to get away from those Black Ark Corsairs. A-okay. Cold One Knight's going to follow up and try and get in charge here. Let's check out the front line. Bombs coming down here from Time Lord. Trying to put some damage in on the Skinks with Javelins. The Javelins are going to do pretty good damage to the Spearmen. They'll probably kill them in no time with the support of the Skinks, supposing that they don't get terror routed. But yeah, shots going right across the line. Already this Flamespire has paid probably 300 gold worth of value, because this unit might actually lose to this unit of Spears now, just because of the presence of a couple of bombs there. I think the same is likely to happen over here on this flank. Oh, Time Lord not wasting any time, diving right in on Throg. Throg does have anti-large. He's a decent combatant. Femur Warriors are right next by, but they got stuck up in the Blackguard of Nagaran, so those Femur need to be pulled back here, support Throg. Death Hag is going to get over here and try and also do some damage to this Femur Great Weapon. So those Femur Great Weapons, once they lose unit models, they don't get those unit models back. That's a very dangerous place for them to be, sitting in a unit of Blackguard. Hopefully they can maybe fall back and support Throg over here. We will see. On the far side, what do we have? Skirmishers trading shots with Dark Riders repeater crossbows. Two Skin Wolves. Looks like they've been tagged by Spears and Corsairs, so they should just fall back, I suppose. Over here, are we seeing any shots coming in from the Rizardon hunting pack? Or are they obstructed? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Meanwhile, the High Elf Archers are unobstructed and shooting into the Skinks. And again, that combo of bombs plus High Elf Archers plus the Overwatch fires is enough to break the low leadership of the Skinks. So High Elves are holding on. Balance Bar is dead even right now. It looks like some Coldborn Riders are going to chase the Illyrian Reavers to the ends of the world and back again. Probably they could just dive the Archer line. There's the Lifecaster here who is gonna maybe try and get his hands dirty here and just free up his archers, but that's a risky play here, because if Nakai the Wanderer gets his hands on the Life Mage, then you take off some of the heals that the Frostart Phoenix has access to, or that the Noble has access to. Teclis can of course heal as well. I'm assuming he has Regrowth. Maybe Time Lord has 2 copies of Regrowth. No, he has Earthblood on the Life Mage. With Teclis he has Regrowth. So he is adhering to tournament rules in the sense that he only has 1 copy of each spell. Nakai the Wanderer, though, got distracted, man. He could have finished off that Light Mage. I mean, he's diving the backline, but MR, dude, if you get a Light Mage and you got a chance to tag it, you got to go for that. It looks like he did realize that mistake, but maybe a lot of time wasted there, perhaps. Just kind of going backwards and forwards. Teclis was able to interrupt a bunch of stuff here. This Noble is wavering, and the Bestilled on Reviv Crystal is going to get into it. Over here, Throg is taking a punishing load of shots from the Shades plus the Dreadlord Sword and Crossbow. Interesting choice. You don't see the Dreadlord Sword and Crossbow on foot very often, but he's doing a lot of damage to Throg. Throg certainly needs to pull back there and take advantage of those heals that he has access to. He has no business being in this pocket right now. There's a Death Hag, Blackguard, Witch Elves, Shades, Dreadlord. Like he has no chance of living here. He's got to call a spade and get the hell out of there. And he's got to go over to Nakai the Wanderer. If Nakai the Wanderer and Throg stand side by side, and then they play a really tight formation, they have a chance at winning this. I think when you go up against the High Elves, you got to recognize that they have so much mobility with this triple Flamespire build. If you go wide, you're going to get picked apart. You really have to play it tight and patient, and force the Flamespires and the Phoenixes to play like more of a defensive style. Don't let them sort of like choose their spots and pick you apart piecemeal on offense. Heal is going to go down here, or no, Flame's sort of ruined. So some Winds of Magic being commit to the offensive repertoire. Going to take out some Cold One Knights here, and again, just going after all of the mobility here, making it a little bit easier for the High Elves to kite that Death Blob. I think I haven't seen all the shooting from the Rizardon hunting packs. I'm not sure if they've been screened off, or I don't know what's going on over there. The Life Mage is being chased to the Shadow Realms by the Skinks. Very close battle still, but all of the mobility is getting picked apart. And at this point, like, the only mobile things that I see on the field are the Marauder Horsemasters. Those Horsemasters need to come back here and regroup with the Temple Guard ASAP. And they need to basically try and net things in the Temple Guard while the Temple Guard push, in my opinion. Pit of Shade is going to go down here on some Witch Elves, I guess. They're going to do some damage. But yeah, Famir, Balefield, and Throg are going to be dead. Throg's probably already dead. But yeah, I think now it's going to be really an uphill battle for the Lizardmen to try and pull this one through. Nakai has full health. But yeah, the Archers were able to use most of their ammo. So amazingly, even with that really thin front line, Time Lord was able to protect his back line for the most part. So maybe a little bit more backline pressure needed to be there. some wolves or something like that. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here because I can kind of get a whiff of how things are going on the battlefield. Maybe even max speed. Uh, Nakai's gonna get in here, dish it out with some black guards. He does still have the bestowed on Reeve Crystal, but the heals of the individual entities just gives the Heil so much staying power, and I think that's what you're seeing here. I mean, lizards, they get staying power too, right? Oh, those hunting pack just getting snared, but oh yeah, that presence of terror from the revive crystal is going to break them out. Close fight here. I mean, there's a lot of back and forth going here. Nakai did punk one of those flame spires, so maybe I got to be careful here and not call this one too early. The revive crystal does have the ability to bring models back from the dead, so the Rizodon hunting pack could still be a thing. The witch elves, it's possible that they'll just get terror routed here. Nice charge going in. Oh no, the King Priest of Heavens just ran past the Death Hag, but this bestowed on Reeve Crystal, yeah, all things are going into breaking off these witch elves. Interestingly, the single Death Hag cannot cause rampage, which is maybe she didn't get the memo about how to do that whole Fury of Cain thing. She should probably do some reading. But yeah, Temple Guard and Shades. Temple Guard should win that. That's a pretty good situation for the Temple Guard to be in. Granted, the Shades were out of ammo, so why not? Bounce Bar is kind of going back and forth. I shouldn't have maybe fast forwarded. There's still anyone's game here. Let's take a look at the Flyers. We've got Flamespire and the Frostheart, both at about 20% HP. They're going to have to be disciplined here. Just stay close to the Rizodon hunting pack. If you are Lizardman, there's a good chance you're playing sort of a death ball type of build. You got to be disciplined and stay together. Noble and the Frostheart going to get a nice charge here on the Still and Revive Crystal. Is there going to be a counter charge from Lizardman, or is that going to be free damage? We'll see. Looks like it's going to be free damage. Over here, Techless and the Life Mage are going to get in a charge on some Temple Guard, maybe kill a model or two. But the Marauder Horsemasters are back, and they can start pinning things. So maybe if the Frosthearts land, so long as things don't get terror routed, they could be used as a glue unit. Balance Bar is actually shifted in favor of the Lizardmen here. So a nice comeback from the Lizardmen and the Norskin players. They were able to take out one of the Phoenixes. So I guess that's what pushed the balance bar, maybe back towards the favor of the Lizardman. But here comes that dangerous scenario. The Marauder Horsemasters have got to use that screen of the large. They can't get caught out there, and that's devastating because you lose them, you can't pin anything. These guys cannot get charged. They have to counter charge the terror-causing units. If they get charged, you lose your glue. So yeah, hopefully, okay, they do stabilize. They can only break 3 times though. So Time Lord just won a break basically. So only 2 more chances for these Horsemasters, assuming they haven't already broke before. And they're getting a little ambitious here, going off to fight a Death Hag. I don't even think they can kill the Death Hag. Maybe. You're gonna touch and go, but the Death Hag's kind of irrelevant. What's relevant is these Phoenixes and whether or not they're cycle charging. I mean, the Death Hag's not even anywhere near here. Nakai has got to go in here and do the damage to these Phoenixes. But for Nakai to do the damage, those Phoenixes need to be snared. So Death Hag is breaking. So these guys are paying some value. They're going to charge in here. We'll see if with the charge bonus they're able to overcome their fears from the terror. They are pretty beaten at this point. There's the snare that they need. Are they going to hold? Can Nakai get in here and do some damage? Or is he stuck up on these... It looks like he's stuck up on these Shades. Nakai's got to turn around and go whack that Flame Spire like ASAP. He's punching Shades right now, and he's turning them into dust, but like pulpy blood. But yeah, nice charge here from MR, getting in on the Life Mage. Techless not the best combatant either. Balance Bar started to go in favor of Lizardman. Nakai is, I think, pulling the Balance Bar pretty heavy with his Bastillodons. Nakai can probably go over here and punk this Dreadlord as well. Let's take a look at their foot speed. 36 foot speed to 50 foot speed. So Nakai does have the foot speed to just pound this Dreadlord. So Dreadlord is probably not where he should be, and he's going to get punished here. That's going to push the balance bar even more in favor of MR Defender. So we're going to start to see the High Elves doing their cycle charge thing, see if they can maybe break the Bastillodon. They are going to break this Reaver Crystal, I think. We shall see. It's wavering. The charge from the Noble is going to break it. But the Noble also gets terror routed here. But one of the Rivas is down. That's a big win for Time Lord and his ally. On the other hand, this Frostheart's almost down, but another critical Earthblood arrives just at the right time. But look at Nakai just chunking health off of this Flamespire Phoenix. So MR Defender getting a little bit of a sweet revenge, but oh my god, that big pop of HP on the Flamespire. We've seen it before. It's like a trademark for Time Art, going right back up to 50. Balance bar completely reverses. Now the Bastiladon Reviv Crystal is wavering. But on the other hand, wow, look at that damage from the Kai. He just put him right back in the ground. We will see. I mean, it's too early to call. Balance bar shifted again away from the favor of the Hiles. Uh, I mean, this guy just keeps swinging and attacking, and anything that's near it is dying, right? So at some point, shooting's off the map. At some point, they're going to have to fight Nakai, and Nakai is just, he's literally fighting everything and everyone right now. Noble getting in a cheeky rear charge here. Can Nakai hold on and take on everyone? I mean, this is a crazy match. He's got a lot of work to do. I think he's got to finish that Noble. On the other hand, I mean, ooh, the Flamespire is almost done. It's tough, man. Decisions. But that Noble, every time he gets a charge in, he's getting a huge charge bonus. And I think he is going to be able to break Nakai here. That's just a lot for him to deal with. Reviv Crystal is nearby. Maybe he can pop one more heal. No, that's it. Hiles win it. Hiles win it. One hit for the Noble, he probably would have been down. One hit for Teclis. So very close battle. Was very impressed with Nakai. I think it was the right choice in this matchup to deal with the individual entities. I think he did extremely well. Maybe even try going with the big dude. What's his name? The Pharaoh or the Shredder of Lustria, that unit, or the non-Regiment of Renown version. I forget what it's called. Yeah, so this one's going to Hiles as well. So good try, MR and zchaffins. You guys played a good game. Push Time Lord to his limits there, and I've gone against that build before. It's really hard to deal with. Donner, I don't know you. Maybe we'll play together sometime, but you played a good game too. Only thing was, I think the Dreadlord challenging Nakai to a duel was pretty brave. But other than that, I mean, he was out of ammo, so whatever. All right, what else we got on tap? So we done Phoenix Regen. We did Coast. I have not done Coast versus TK Shudo. So we got a match featuring Bottrix here. Going up against Philo. In the shooties, we've got deck gunners, we've got hand gunners, so a lot of AP shooting. Interesting choice against Tomb Kings. I guess he's looking to snipe more like the high value stuff, like the Chosen, Bone Giants, Lords, rather than the Chaff per se, in which case like the regular gunners might have been the way to go. Handgunners can certainly pump it out. Double Mongol is an interesting choice here. They'll be useful for interrupting any sort of cycle charging shenanigans coming from the Tomb King. Tomb King, of course, has access to a lot of chariots. They often have those Tomb Scorpions. I mean, Tomb Scorpions may be overkill against Coast. I mean, they'd only really be good against Depth Guard. But yeah, Cetra the Imperishable is getting ready to perish or not. Who knows? On the far flank, there's 5 units of Skelly Archers here, which are behind the front screen of Skelly Warriors. Back line is Zchaff the Greatbow, and these Eyes of the Desert are the only thing in reserve to deal with any sort of wolves or stalking type of units that might come from the Vampire Coast. Of course, Vampire Coast are not known as being one of the stronger Vanguardy factions. They tend to be more like shooting type of faction. This is an interesting fight here. You got Deckhand Mob going up against Skelly Warriors, and it looks like the Deckhand Mob are actually able to outtrade that because of the dual weapons and the lack of shields, making them more fighty in combat. They are beating up the Skelly Warriors. Of course, Skelly Warriors will hold for a decent amount of time. Vampire Fleet Captain, does he have? He's got heals and summons and stuff. Over here, we got a bit of a wash up here. The Fellbats are being used to pin the Hakara Horsemen and the Skelly Chariots, and the Morgul Hunter is the one doing the damage. Death Guard are losing to Skelly Warriors, so it's kind of an interesting even matchup over here. On the other hand, Cetra's been pinned by some Fellbats. and the deckhand mob are going to get over there. So felt that's being used to great effect to just keep those chariots under control, really tax the micro of the Tomb King player. On the other hand, the Tomb King backline is shooting unimpeded 5 units of Skelly Archers. It'll add up and it'll do some damage. So even though there were some initial gains here in the fight against the Skelly Warriors, because of the support of the Skelly Archers, which could shoot over top of the Skelly Warrior screen, the frontline fight did actually end up going in favor of Tomb Kings. The gunnery mob, I think, with the hand cannons were maybe shooting on the flanks or were screened out by the presence of their own infantry, so not getting as much of a chance to shoot there. Over here, the Setra is being surrounded by deck gunners. So Setra is certainly where she wants to be, but the zombie deckhand mob have been summoned to the rescue. These gunnery mobs are shooting Setra, I believe, if they're not obstructed, but they're also being shot in the back from Skelly Warriors. They're about to get hit from a chariot. And Balance Bar is very much in favor of the Tomb King, so we'll see if there's any surprise plays coming out of Vampire Coast here. On the other hand, a lot of the mobility has been taken off the field for the for the Tomb Kings. There's this unit of Nahakara Horsemen, and there's these Eyes of the Desert. But we shall see. Vampire Fleet Admiral Captain is being cycle-charged by Setra, so that's a nice place for Setra to be. And it looks like the Shapti, I'm assuming that's the summon, has been dropped here to deal with the gunnery mob hand cannons, and just it's looking real thin for the Vampire Coast front line or back line now. I mean, there is no front line. The only back line is really the deck gunners and these gunnery mob, and they're being cycle charged. The only thing that and even here, this Morgul Haunter, it looks like it's been killed by the Eyes of the Desert. So yeah, just getting screened out across the board. So unless Setra can somehow die, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for Vampire Coast, but stranger things have happened. Maybe once this Ushapti summon drops off the map, things will pick up for Coast. You know, you never know. Morgul Haunter still giving it to the Nahakora Horseman. Maybe he can pull things back. We'll see. Vampire Fleet Captain is alive, and I think he's the pistol version. So he's shooting at these Eyes of the Desert. Eyes of the Desert have got to be careful here. They're getting shot from the deck gunners, and gunnery mob, I think, are accidentally charging into those guys. Bit of a mistake there, I think. I'm not sure. Fleet Captain could probably pop a heal into these deck gunners to keep them from crumbling out. I would have liked to see that if he had the Winds of Magic, but he might have used that for other things. Who knows? All Hands Ahoy has been popped. I don't know what on. I'm looking around the map, trying to figure out what got the buff. I don't see it. Was it on the Morgul Haunter? Because that would have been a nice target. I don't know. Morgul Haunter's absolutely giving it to Setra, so that's what's keeping Vampire Coast back in the game here. Surprisingly, he's able to stick fairly well on Setra. He does have a chilling aura effect, which I think is reducing the speed down to... Let's see here. Speed of 53. He's got a speed of 54, so just enough speed to keep Setra like whacked in the back. But the infantry screen is going to buy him a little bit of space, and all of a sudden, Balance Bar has crept up in favor of Vampire Coast again because of the massive, massive damage that Morgul Haunter has done to Setra. So I think bottrix has certainly figured out like what the clue to winning this game is, and it's hunting down Setra. And look at the ammo situation of these skeleton warriors. It's depleted. All of a sudden, things are not looking so grim for the Vampire Coast. This unit just crumbled to death. I don't know why. And guns are ready to blaze on Setra. Setra's got no real safe place to go. Morgul Haunter's in here. And with the Nahakora Horsemen, I mean, that's really the only unit that's left that could fight the Morgul Haunter. Oh, Morgul Haunter's wavering. Oh, he's getting chunked down by Setra. Setra's giving it right back to the Morgul Haunter. He is starting to crumble. Both of them are probably... Oh, it's the zchaffins and the Blade of Petra. Wow. Minus 24 melee attack. Reduced accuracy, melee defense. That did a ton of damage to the Morgul Haunter. But while that was happening, he was also being shot. So yeah, I think this one might come back to the Vampire Coast. But look at this chariot. It looks like that could have been used to interrupt the zombie gunnery mob that was shooting in on Setra. I think the Tomb King players just realized that now, right about the time that I realized that, because I was so engrossed in that key fight that was going on. And Morgul Haunter is continuing to crumble, I believe. So is he going to crumble out, or is he going to start to regen health as he fights in melee? He is fighting against Ushapti Great Bows, which are certainly not pushovers in combat, but the Morgul Hunters, is he going to crumble out? It looks like he is going to crumble out. This is a crazy game. Oh my goodness, what a game here. He stabilizes at the last second, probably just because of the balance bar and the loss of Cetra. And congrats to bottrix on that crazy win. Man, I thought he was done. That, like, if you like swingy games where the balance bar comes back from like way gone, I mean that's one of them. So I tend to give up when it goes that far in one direction, but bottrix stuck with it. He trusted in his guns and his Morgul Haunter, and waited for maybe a slip up there from Philo by throwing who threw Cetra a little close to that Morgul Hunter. He took full advantage. So congrats to bottrix on that one. That was a great game. Let's go into this greenskin game featuring zchaffins and Agor Rivers. Chaffins is playing greenskins. I'm sure we're going to see Grimgor again. And then we've got, of course, a coast featuring Luther Harkon. Gunnery White, who can put ammo into these rotting Prometheans. And I'm assuming these are the ones that shoot. And then there's the captain. So kind of a hero squad from the Vampire Coast. They can be very strong. This running gunnery Promethean mob can take the ammo from the gunnery white, and of course the gunnery white. I think he can also buff himself. I'm not entirely sure about that, but anyway, there's ammo all around. Harkin, of course, can receive the ammo buffs from the gunnery white as well. So kind of an interesting build here. Gunnery white is on foot. He hits pretty hard actually. 400 weapon strength is pretty strong for a guy who's like basically a zombie who tends to cannons all day. I don't know. He must be lifting a lot of iron and cannonballs to be that strong to dish out 400 weapon strength. Man, I think Exalted Hero is like around 350 or 400. Like, wow. Deck gunners are over here with their guns. They have long range. They're really close together, though. You got to be careful about staying close together against greenskins, because greenskins are pretty hardy. So I've seen this a lot from Chaffins lately. The quad chariot build. It's enough missile damage to like really just win skirmish fights, and they've got pretty good mobility and versatility. Like if the infantry come, you just charge them. If it's just shooting, you just shoot back. So a lot of resources often have to be commit to dealing with this. It is 500 gold, I think, for each Goblin Chariot, so that's like basically 2k worth of value. But look at all the unit models you get. 6 models, it's a lot. Times 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 24 chariot models that the opposing player has to take out. And even look at the Felbats. They're struggling to take them out here. Yeah, it's just touch and go. And look, they're already down to 37 unit models, 36. Yeah, those 4 chariots are going to win against a unit of Felbats. Deck droppers are trying to get over there and help out, but yeah, they're already crumbling. Look at that, and they haven't taken out a single chariot. They haven't pinned a single chariot. It's just, and I don't think Chaffins is even microing them. They're probably on skirmish mode, just doing their own thing. And they're crumbling. Meanwhile, here come the greenskins. Savage Orcs are in here. I'm expecting the Wog to be popped any second now. They better pop, because this one's going to run away if it doesn't pop. A little too late. But this unit's crumbling. And Greenskin should win across the board mostly. Yeah, a little late there. But, yeah, see, Wog, I thought Wog gave a leadership bonus. I was wrong about that. It's just speed, melee attack, and charge bonus. But it still would have helped them to be winning the combat, because winning the combat does affect your leadership. There's a unit of Broken Tusk Mob in the back. They're just being patient and keeping out of range of the Necrofex, I think, or out of Harkon. But at some point, they could come around here. Alternatively, they could just be kept in the back line and tag Luther Harkon. The Felbats are losing decisively to these to the chariot screen. It looks like 1 unit of chariots perhaps has been lost, but not a big deal. That's 500 gold that's traded upwards. Definitely, this unit I think is around 650. The other unit of Felbats was 300, 350. So that's about 1,000, 1,100 gold that was won, and it only cost 1 unit of chariots, was about 500 gold that was lost. So yeah, and look, another 1,500 gold worth of value is on its way back here to start interrupting things and causing a whole bunch of problems. The Orc Shaman's gotten in here with a Gunnery White and just started trying to dish it out with him, but he is losing. He really needs the Fist of Gork to be effective in combat. he is also being shot here, so that's a little bit painful. But look at this giant going in here, getting into the rotting Prometheans, and Grimgore Ironhide is also helping to win that frontline fight and get the Wog buff procced. The Savage Orcs are being picked apart by Luthor Harkon. Luthor Harkon can tear out them fairly easily because of their poverty leadership. This unit of Savage Orcs has regrouped. But check out those Goblin Wolf Riders. Being used a little bit like the Dark Elf Chariots have been used recently. Just chipping down Luthor Harkon. Like aggregate damage, just being annoying. And it's adding up, man. If you got that many unit models just shooting, it adds up. They're even shooting on the gunnery mob. I mean, I think they can melee mode these gunnery mob. And it looks like at least one unit is doing that. The other ones can be... Oh, no. I said one of the units lost, but actually all 4 units of chariots are still up, and they've been absolute MVPs in this matchup so far. The other unit could probably dive these deck gunners and just basically pinball right across while Harkon is stuck up here in these broken tusk mob. So reducing the vigor of the broken tusk mob, I mean, it might make them a little bit slower, or I don't know. I mean, they're still pretty fresh, I guess. I don't think it's doing too much at this point. Black Orcs are cutting up the Death Guard, so definitely where they want to be. Meanwhile, Grimgore Ironhide is pounding this Vampire Fleet Captain. Of course, the Giant can do that as well. Giant could be taking shots from the guns, but instead it looks like they've tried to focus down Grimgore Ironhide. Bit of a risky play there. I mean, Grimgore is a smaller target. Of course, I mean, getting Greenskin leadership off the field is always super helpful if you've got a big terror-causing Terrorgeist, aptly named, up in the air. But yeah, so Grimgore's got to be careful here. I think Grimgore needs to always stay with his giant so he doesn't get psycho charged. If you're Vampire Coast, you have an opportunity to tag Grimgore and get some free damage in. You can hit and go. But Grimgore is trying to lock up these deck gunners. Countercharge coming from the gunnery white. It doesn't look like Grimgore was paying too much attention. But I guess he doesn't care because he's going to still chop up the gunnery white in literally like 2 swings of his axe. Yeah. That is a sacrificial Gunnery White if I've ever seen one. Gunnery White could have kited and shot Grimgore, and the Gunnery White is probably worth as much or more than the cost of these deck droppers. So that was a bit of a risky play, I think, from Vampire Coast. I think ultimately the Coast player just needed some summons to buy him a little bit more time for his stuff to shoot, and I think he needed a better answer to this Goblin Chariot play. These Goblin Chariots have been super effective. There's been no answer on the Vampire Coast roster to deal with that. If I play Greenskins, I might have to experiment with these Goblin Chariots more often. They are doing so much work in this battle. I think when you bring 4 of them, it sort of tips the balance. Like if you bring 1, it's not a big deal, but you bring 4, you can't ignore that shooting. It's a lot. Yeah, nice job with the Haunters there, bottrix. I saw that was crazy. So these Savage Orcs did okay. The other ones just ran away. That is the risk. If you go against fear-causing units with Savage Orcs, there's a chance they're going to just run away, but they can also clear the chaff pretty quickly, so it's there's a bit of a give and take there. But yeah, zchaffins demonstrating that can be done. So we got another one. We got 3 games from Chaffins. So game number 2 from Chaffins. It looks like we got 3 replays left, so just plowing through them. We got Dragon Knight. Not a player I'd recognize, going up against Chaffins. Chaffins bringing the double Bone Giant against Chaos. Not a bad choice because Chaos tends to struggle in the shooting department, so that tends to be a scenario where the Bone Giants get a little bit more, sorry, the regular Giants, good old Tubby Lovies, get a little bit more freedom to do what they want to do. Again, look at these Goblin Wolf Chariots winning every scrimmage fight. I know that's a bit of an early pronunciation or judgment, but yeah, Chaos Knights with Lances, they're getting chipped down. Like, this is a lot of damage into Chaos Knights with Lances. They've only lost 1 unit model, but already almost 10% of their HP, and they're not fast enough to catch it. So these Chaos Knights, they need a screen of Warhounds. In this case, they would have needed a screen of 4 Warhounds to catch all of those Goblin Wolf Chariots. Without that, they're better off just tucking up and going behind their infantry because they have no hope of really doing anything here. They're also going really, really wide. I mean, they could have gone really tight here. They're wasting a lot of time, and the more time they waste, the more shots they take, right? They need to just dive in here and start doing some work. The Chaos Lord of Death, I think, is not a bad choice. He can probably Spirit Leech down things like Grimgore. I do see Spirit Leech in this kit. There's Purple Sun and also Faded Buno, so we'll have to watch carefully, see where those go. But yeah, these Chaos Warriors, it looks like they're taking the full brunt of the greenskin charge here. Cheeky charge going into the back of Grimgor there from the Chaos Lord. That's a nice charge. Gonna chunk off a solid 10% of his HP. I think the Chaos Lord's gonna want to get out of there or not give Grimgor a chance to get back on his feet and start swinging back. Nice rear charge coming in here from the Demon Spear. They also are going to debuff the melee attack of the Black Orcs by 5 because of their passive buff. Shots going in here on the side of these Chaos Warriors. I think this could probably be used to get a rear charge and break this unit. And it looks like zchaffins is paying attention. He is going to do that. So that rear charge is going to probably break these Chaos Warriors. No, not quite. They hold tough. They hold tough, but the Chariot can pull out and try again. Meanwhile, these Chaos Knights, I don't know if they tried to go after these Goblin War Chariots, but having no success whatsoever. And again, additional shots, just chipping them down and starting to take them out of play. Giants come over here, though, and they do what the Chariot could not, and that's just tear out everything. And so this pocket's gone for the Greenskins. The other side, it's being held down by Grimgor, but it's a brutal contest. I think it is in favor of the Chaos right now, but that stand your ground buff is a big deal. And this Chaos Sorcerer of Death is just being a little bit too pretty here. He's got to get in a few more cycle charges really quickly while Grimgor is away from these giants. Or he's got to drop some breaths, or he's got to do something. But that's a lot of value to just be inactive up there in the air. Now, the Chaos Knights of Lances, it looks like they were able to tag some of these Goblin Wolf Chariots, so maybe there was an attack order to go shoot the Chaos Sorcerer, and that pulled them through. The Chaos Knights, a wall gets popped here. That's going to help out those Black Orcs, but a few of them are going to break. There is one unit that's still in here. Another big charge comes down from the Chaos Lord, and look at him just chunking off the health of Grimgor. Just gobs of flesh dripping off his face at this point in time. These giants are off-roaming the countryside. Once again, I think there has to be at least one giant next to Grimgor at all times to prevent this type of thing from happening. I think this game was wildly in favor of the Greenskins, but because they went off and sort of got split from Grimgor, it gave Chaos an entry point back into the game. And actually, Balance Bar has shifted in favor of Chaos from a scenario where it looked like it was very much in favor of Greenskins. Grimgor Ironheart is likely to be charged and finished off by the Chaos Lord. There's not really anything that can respond to that. Goblin Big Boss at foot also does not have the mobility to go over there and interrupt. The only hope is maybe these Goblin Wolf Chariots, if they rally, they might be able to interrupt and buy just enough time for Grimgor to come back. But in all likelihood, that's the last we've seen of Grimgor. But then the question is, what's going to be the answer to these giants? And I think there's not very much. There's no Halberd units. There's no Dragon Ogres. There's no shooting. So the only thing that can really do it is like Spirit Leech is not the best because they have a really big HP pool. A Dragon Breath, maybe. Dragon Breath plus Spirit Leech can chunk a lot off of them. But yeah, Chaos Knights are going to have no luck in here against the Giants. Ooh, here comes an Here We Go. Giants are going to start dishing it out, man. 100 melee attack on the Giant. Oh my goodness. There's nothing they are not going to hit at this point in time. Every time they swing their clubs, they're going to be taking 2 and 3 models with them. I say that, but I didn't see the kill count go up there. But yeah, terror and everything else. Just absolutely plowing Chaos. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. Let's see if there's anything left in Chaos Arsenal that can deal with this. But I think the answer is no. Here comes the charge that we were waiting for. And look at the damage these Giants just put into this guy. And the Wolf Chariot showing the value once again. Just making it hard for the Chaos Lord to disengage. They have super high speed for Chariots. I think they're around the 95 range. I couldn't check that before it ended, but yeah, very, very quick. So Chariots were amazing there. The only misplay I saw there from zchaffins was splitting Grimgor from the Giant. Everything else went his way, though. So yeah, very fun stuff. We got one more greeny meanie game from zchaffins, and then we're on to this Hellstorm game, which looks like a big dust up between me as well. Okay. So we have zchaffins and Beefy Baby. Beefy Baby, 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 baby. What do we got here? Once again, Grimgor, Goblin Big Boss on foot, and the Orc Shaman. And then there is giant. I would recommend uh, getting Fists of Gork on the Orc Shaman because you can use it defensively to keep Grimgor alive. If he gets in a situation where he's kind of stuck or he's about to get cycle charged or whatever, you can pop it and it gives him a bit of like melee defense, which might prevent him from taking a hit or two. I mean, there is no way to heal him, so that defense can be a big deal, I think. Savage Orcs are going to probably lose to the White Lions here because White Lions have armor, so they can shrug a lot of the weapon damage of Savage Orcs. So if I were Greenskins, I probably would not want to take that fight, but we'll see. If the wall goes off, it might be okay. Pendulum comes down, wrecking unit of Savage Orcs immediately. They are going to break. Grimgor is a little bit in the back line, and Illyrian Reaver is chasing these Goblin Wolf Chariots. So the speed of the Goblin Wolf Chariots is 92. Speed of Illyrian Reavers is 90. So Chariots are slightly faster, but with the charge bonus, they might be able to tag them. On the other hand, the Wog does give a speed buff, so proccing the Wog early on makes it really hard potentially for these Goblin Chariots to get caught by the Reavers. In this case, it looks like a few of them have been tagged. They're going to turn around and fight there. But yeah, if the Wog is used in synchrony with these Goblin Wolf Chariots, their speed gets up like, what, 114 speed on a Chariot? Oh my god, that's crazy. Not even Reavers can't catch them at that speed. Savage Orcs with Here We Go melee attack are going to chunk down these spearmen. Over here, the Giant's in tough against 3 individual entities. I mean, individually, this is a great fight for the Giant to fight any one of these. But in a 3v1 scenario, that's really tough. This is another instance of where I think that Fists of Gork would be really helpful just to give the Giant a little bit of melee defense against the 3 units here, right? Grimgor Ironhide is going to fight some Spearmen and beat them, but it's going to take them a little while. Tyrion is running off to the side here. Shadowcaster is probably going to drop another Pendulum, maybe on the Night Goblins. Maybe he'll save it for the Savage Orcs. Who knows? There is a bit of balling up here going on with the Savage Orcs, but they are slowly chunking down the White Lines. I mean, I am super impressed with this Giant. That high 100 leadership of the Giant is just held on. And over here, the skirmish fight has gone in favor of the Goblin Wolf Chariots. I can hardly believe that. So the skirmish chariots just chipping down the light cavalry of the High Elves. Really painful. Almost to the point where you would need like a net to really deal with these guys, but do you want to waste Winds Magic on something like that? Your best option is probably just to screen them with spears, but then if you do, they can still charge you, so no easy options there. Look at this Giant, just going hard. -8 leadership, Withering being cast on him. He is going to get staggered and drop from a charge from the Flamespire. Flamespires with Chevrons plus Tyrion is no joke, man. That is super hard to deal with. The Orc Shaman is going to get plowed here. What do the Greenskins have in return? Well, they're going after the Shadowcaster. That is one thing that they might have success catching. A lot of damage being done to this Mage of Shadows. I don't know if the High Elf players realize that. So there's a bit of a mage trade going on. The High Elf player does have the mobility to kite that, but yeah, I mean, if needed, the Chariots could be thrown into melee. For now, it looks like they're content to just sit and shoot. I think they are still getting in a few shots here to the Mage of Shadows. Mage of Shadows is going to escape. He's going to pop up a whole bunch of heals. Surprisingly, the Orc Shaman is still online here. He's pretty low. He's going to break, but he's breaking through the unit of Black Orcs, which is very fortunate for him. There's a good chance he will rally, unless these Flamespires were to, you know, force path through, for example. Where's Grimgor at? Grimgor's coming. He's coming. He's going to be wanting to pop a Stand Your Ground buff soon, I'm sure. Or Get Back Gear or whatever it is. I think he does have Stand Your Ground. He does. It is Stand Your Ground, so he can get in here, Stand Your Ground with Savage Orcs. That's a decent thing because they only have 16 melee defense, so they really need that Stand Your Ground buff to not just take every whack in the face. Looks like the Hive players commit to taking the Orc Shaman off of the field. I mean, Orc Shaman is not the most valuable thing in the world. This caster can do that job. I think the Flamespires are needed elsewhere. I haven't seen any Pigeon Poops come down. I think this is probably Pigeon Poop time. And hey, look, what do you know? Here comes the pigeons, pooping everywhere. Absolutely dropping a load on the Greenskins. They're going to break the Savage Orcs, but the Black Orcs, immune to psychology, they're going to stick around. Another Wog proc. So Grimgor just giving Wog proc after Wog proc after Wog proc. This might be the third Wog that I've seen go down here. Tyrion's got stuck in here with Black Orcs. He's going to try and Sunfang his way out of it. The typical Hive memes, but Black Orcs have a lot of armor, so they shrug much of the damage of the Sunfang. It does buy Tyrion a little bit of breathing room. just enough so he can escape. But yeah, the Goblin Wolf Chariots are in here. They are pinning slash getting smashed by these Flamespire Phoenix, but they have so many unit models that they're able to hold for like a decent amount of time. And while that's going on, Tyrion took a whack in the back from Grimgor. So again, the Chariots just showing their value. Uh, I'm super, super impressed with how much versatility they have offered the Greenskins. So I mean, it looks like Chaffins is stuck with his Grimgor build and maybe found a way to make it work, sort of compensating the lack of mobility and shooting that you see with Grimgor with the chariot play and mobility of the chariots. More shots going in here to Tyrion. Looks like there's a little kiting going on here, but we'll get right back into it. The live action. Savage Orcs, are they gonna break? Another bomb could probably do it. Yeah, they're gonna dive into combat. Make sure. A little spaghetti line action going here from Chaffins. Just trying to tag those Flamespires and lock them up for a second, so Grimgor has a second to get in a whack. Looks like he's chasing this one, changed his mind, going after the other one. Look at this. Oh man, Grimgor chunking. He is chunking this Flamespire Phoenix. Let's see if the Flamespire Phoenix gets that rebirth. Oh, here comes a big pendulum. That's dangerous. He's not going to dodge it. So that's the danger of going in that line spell. But meanwhile, looks like a rebirth just procced. So here comes the High Elves again. The memes are real. Tyrion's in here. Is he going to pop his proc as well? Like, is Grim going to have to kill all of them several times? Perhaps. Perhaps he will. But Grimgor is not getting charged in any case. The High Elf players always, every time his back is to Grimgor and Grimgor is getting a free wax, Tyrion gets a full prop of health, but a second hit from Grimgor goes into the back of Tyrion and chunks off about 25% of that heal that he just got. Orc Shaman's in here. He's whacking and rolling with the Flamespire Phoenix in good greenskin fashion. He's going to lose, but he's also going to support his boys and put that extra little bit of damage in. And that Flamespire is at max heal, so, why not? He's going to try and get out of the way with Grimgor here. Oh, doesn't look like he gets out in time. I think Grimgor's going to get in a hit. Another pendulum going to rip across the Black Orcs, but the armor of the Black Orcs just holding strong here. I'm losing my voice. I'm going to need to get a drink or something. But yeah, no more regrowths. No more Tyrion pops. So it's just Tyrion and his caster and this very depleted Flamespire. Flamespire's trying to take the mobility off the field, but look at these chariots. 95 speed. As soon as the Flamespire lands, it loses a lot of its speed. And when it does chase, it's not able to really tag these Goblin Wolf Chariots. The Wolf Chariots are just able to shoot it. The Chariots, it seems like they have a surprisingly large amount of ammo. It does finally tag one, I guess, but it turns around, it breaks the moment it tags them, and they could probably just chase it right off the map. So they're going to shatter. Grimgor's going to get in here and just beat the snot out of Tyrion, and congrats to Chaffins. That was a super cool match. I'm going to be honest, I love seeing Tyrion and the double Flamespires get their ass kicked. So thank you for that, Chaffins. I loved it. Nice work with Grimgor, man. He's a hard lord to win with. So if you can win with Grimgor, then if you play the other Greenskin Lords, you might do even better. But nice. Okay, so this is a 4v4. We got bottrix, Alfair, myself, and Chaffins going up against Time Lord, Navarre, Menace, and MR Defender. So this is a game actually I wanted to watch a second time, so I'm going to cast it and watch it for, well, it'll be the first time I watch it actually. But I played the game, so that was the first time I felt the game. So watching it will give me an interesting perspective. I want to see what kind of fell apart for me. I have a pretty good idea, but we'll see. So I don't. So I think Chaffins is count greenskins. I don't remember who's chaos. I don't know. There's a lot going on here. I showed it earlier. I can't remember now, but. So what do we have? Malkith, Bloodback, but I think MR Defender. No, I know MR Defender was playing these guys, the Dark Elves. Time Lord is playing Skaven. Navarre is playing the Dwarfs, and Menace was playing the Tomb King. Then we had Chaffins playing the Savage Orcs. I believe Vippo was playing the Empire. The Vampire Counts was myself, and then is that it? Chaos. I think Chaos was bottrix. I think Chaos is bottrix. He's been on a bit of a Chaos kick lately. Or no, maybe bottrix was high elf. Maybe no, bottrix was high elf. Bottrix was high elf. Maybe Vippa was. I don't know who was playing. No, Alfair. Alfair. Sorry, dude. Alfair was Chaos. I forgot. Yeah, bottrix is Empire. So okay, now that we know who's who. So double bone giant are going to push up and try and snipe out the artillery with the support of the Casket of Souls. Shots from the Hellstorms, trying to take out the Skelly Archers, but they don't really matter, and the Skelly Archers are just going to walk away. There's only 2 cannons on the Empire roster. 2 cannons are not going to be able to beat Double Bone Giant, I do not think. So we'll see. For myself, I pushed out onto the flank, so what I was trying to do is take out Malkith, because I thought I would have the advantage in the air, and if we could win the air fight, that would open up a lot of opportunities for us. I wanted to get away from some of the zap cannons and other things over here and see if I could win this flank, but I am dealing with the slow foot speed of the Vampire Counts as they kind of push up here, and it looks like most of my allies are playing pretty tight here with the artillery, so maybe I'm getting a little bit too far ahead of them here. It does not look like the artillery fight is going... Well, it was hard to tell. I mean, early on, we couldn't really tell if the artillery fight was going our way or not. The Council Guard are taking some really nice, like, really hard hits from the Hellstorm rocket battery, so very nice targeting from bottrix to try and hit that unit. Meanwhile, Zap Cannon's returning fire and taking offline the Hellstorm rocket battery. So in terms of range, the Hellstorm rocket battery has got way more range than the Zap. So it should be positioning itself in a way that it's not getting sniped by the Zap. So 480 range to 430 range. It's just a question of seeing where the Zap's at, backing up, and making sure your Hellstorm can fire with the Zap cannot. Over here, I've been using my Vargals to try and just chip away at the Dread Spears. I got in a couple charges here. Some counterplay from the Dark Elves to be expected. Witch Elves are going to get in here, tag the Vargulf, and I wanted to support it. But because this is so far on the flank, I was not too worried about the shooting. There's a unit of Dark Shards that's shooting in at a unit of Fell Bats. Looks like I forgot to micro them here, so actually that was a bit of a misplay for myself. But I am trading the Fell Bats for the Witch Elves here, so yeah. But they might even be better off in the air than landing, because the reason I didn't want them to land is the Sisters of Singing Doom are right there. They would have killed the Fellbats immediately. I think that's why I decided not to make them land. Actually, they caused more of a distraction in this case by being up in the air than if I had just landed them and been cut up by the Sisters of Singing Doom. So over here, Malkith is going to try and support his Witch Elves. He's going to pop the stand your ground buff with his Jet Spears. This is a good fight for me, I think. I do have my 2 duelists on him with the Vampire Shadows. On the other hand, this Death Hag is counter-attacking and hitting my Lord. But yeah, with the Vargulf and other things, I should be okay here. But we'll see. There's a lot going on here. Let's take a quick look across the battlefield. It's not about just me. So the Zapsack Cannon continues to shoot into the Hellstorm and these Goblin Wolf Chariots, and actually looks like it's doing some pretty good work. So artillery, balance bar is still pretty even. Artillery duel might be slightly in our favor still. We still have some stuff online. I do not know what the cannon is shooting at right now. We shall see. It looks like the Greenskins are getting a little impatient and trying to push up here. There is... yeah, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on. For me, I think this was the key fight at this early stage in the battle. So I'm chasing after Malkith with the Vargulf. I'm tapping him, but every time I slap him in the back, he's kind of getting pushed closer to his back line. I did see the Witch Elves here, but I also saw Malkith at like 2 hits. He was close to breaking. If I could get him to break, I could charge him off the map. But this was a critical moment in the battle. So you see how Malkith was so low. If they were to have landed, you saw how low his leadership was. It's actually gone up slightly. But that Howling Warp Gale cannot move, comboed with a Witch Elf snare, was lethal. So that was the impact of Time Lord coming over here and supporting MR Defender, who I think was on the ropes a little bit there. Archaon the Everchosen was sent over here by Alfair, but I don't think he was in a scenario where he could do too much to help. I really needed I don't know. Something. But now I've got my Lord rampaging in Witch Elves and in the Council Guard, so he's just straight up dead. There's no way I'm gonna get him back. So I can maybe chase Malkith into the back line once that Howling Warp Gale ends. But there were also Dark Shards here, 2 units of Dark Shards. I was getting dived by the Hag Queen, so in the end I decided it was probably the better bet to just try and shore up my backline. But there was not really much option for counterplay for me there, in the sense that I just got immediately snared, and then snared again, and then eaten by a Hell Pit and Council Guard. So yeah, that's super painful. I just lost my Lord. I didn't get enough value out of him. I probably should have been more patient, dropped some more breaths. So that sucks for me. But the Hellstorms are still singing, and their song is delivering Sigmar's Justice to stuff when it hits, which is not often. It's missing a lot. And it's kind of like mid-tier-ish infantry mostly. Oh, that was a nice hit on the Kepler Guard. That was a nice hit. The expensive Dark Elf infantry is mostly over here. There are some Dwarf Warriors. Yeah, I mean, the Hellstorms are doing good. They're doing good. They're still online mostly. I think bottrix is doing what he has to. Chaos is making their push now. And Chaos Warriors, it looks like they're going to get it intercepted here. They're going to go out in and fight some Skelly Spearmen. Not an ideal formation to take that engagement. They are going to get enveloped a little bit here, not get the maximum number of unit models in contact. So that's a nice defensive situation for the Skellies to be in. These Chaos Warriors are also coming in a little bit spaghetti line. They need to reposition, come out wide, and then lock stuff up so you can get more models in contact. These Marauders are going toe to toe with Longbeards. Longbeards are going to hold tight there for a while. Over here, Runelord and probably Grimgor. Is Grimgor around? I don't know. Where's Grimgor? Let's check in with Grimgor. Let me slow this down. There's a lot going on. Gotrek is here. Runelord is here. Felix is here. So that's the hero ball for the doors. And then for the greenskins, we've got giant Archaons in here getting a regrowth. He's actually really high on HP. So I don't see... Where's Grimgor at? Alfair is getting a little bit of love from bottrix there. But yeah, I don't see where Grimgor is. Maybe Grimgor died to that hero ball? Let me do a quick check on the map. Sorry guys to stop the action here, but that's important. Is that Orc Shaman? I don't see it. I don't see it. Well, let's assume that Grimgor is dead until proven otherwise. We do have a big foot of Gork going down here. It's going to break up the... so the foot of Gork was used on Dwarf Warriors, Gotrek, Felix, and the Runelord. So that foot of Gork does not do a lot of damage to individual entities. So that's maybe not the best use of the Winds of Magic there. There is a rip of... Burning Head coming across the line. It's going to break those Skaven slaves who do suffer from low leadership. It is going to trail into a unit of Dwarf Warriors as well. But yeah, I don't know. Balance Bar is actually slightly in our favor at this point in time. But here comes Gotrek and Felix right over to the Giants. And Gotrek is certainly in his element against Giant Slayers. My Vampires captains did try and support, or my Vampire whatevers did try and support in here with the Giants. I think we were trying to get this Warlock Engineer off of the map, but it looks like they're also going to take some damage. And on the Pegasus mounts, the Hell Steeds, I guess they're called for the Vampires, they have a really hard time disengaging. So I do get one of them out. The second one I think is still stuck in here somewhere. And it's really just a cluster. I almost want to take this away for a second so you can actually see what's going on. This is a Hell Pit, just so much stuff. Meanwhile, the Hellstorm rocket battery is raining down shots in here, but I can't tell if it's shooting us or them, or it's just a cluster, FUC something or other. I don't know how to spell, and yeah, it's pretty intense in here. So the Bloodwrack Medusa is in the back, just I guess waiting for things to quiet down. Meanwhile, Malkith has been able to probably drop a Soul Stealer. Is that the Soul Stealer here? Maybe. No, that's the Here We Go. That had been popped. But the Giant with the Here We Go is leaving because it wasn't cost on the area. That means all of the stuff in here that was getting buffed by the Here We Go is no longer getting buffed by Here We Go because it was centered on the Giant. So that's unfortunate because we could have probably used that. But yeah, Zaps coming in from the Skaven Death Ball, which is the combo of the Hell Pit plus Ikit. This is what I was saying, like Grimgor has to do. If he's going to run a Death Ball, because Grimgor is kind of a Death Ball lord, let's be honest. You run Grimgor, you stand next to Giant, you go where you want to go. That's exactly what Time Lord's doing with the Hell Pit plus Icket and the Plague Priest. He's got does he have the Mortis engine from the Warlock Engineer as well? Because that package, it gives him a Mortis engine, it gives him mass, it gives him anti-large ×2, it gives him spell casting, it gives him summons. Like this combo, he runs it in almost every game he plays. The Skaven Plague Priest plus Warlock Engineer plus Hell Pit plus Icket. You keep those four together. It's got an answer to almost everything. The only thing it doesn't have an answer to is Kitey shooting. So if you do see that like death ball, basically you just walk, you have to walk away from it. Just put your guns down or whatever, walk away, go attack somewhere else. But balance bar is now shifting in favor of Skaven and Dark Elves. I have nothing left. Archaon, I think, is being screened by all the Skaven chaff and the Hell Pit. He's not able to find basically a seam where he can be useful. Malkith has no reason to land. Meanwhile, Archaon's being shot by the cannons, and I think Alfair is just stretched to the max, microing Archaon, just trying to dodge cannonballs right now. That's or zap shots and cannonballs, both. So yeah, I mean, Alfair on top of his micro, he can keep Archaon alive better than most, but if he's just running around for a lot of the map, then he's not matched, then he's maybe not helping out as much as he could. On the other hand, I mean, I don't know if he has much of an option. And, you know, I guess if you got two cannons and a zap shooting at you, that's a lot of value too. So the Dark Elves are going to push up here. The triple Witch Elf build is paying dividends here. And because we're so thin on the front line, I guess I pushed out a bit more to the side. The Hellstorms and other things should go down here. And it's pretty much a romp from this point on. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that replay. I think you saw the power of the combo of Witch Elves plus the Howling Warp Gale, or the other way around, Howling Warp Gale plus Witch Elves. Separating my Lord from my heroes was like difficult because my Lord was on the ground. My heroes, they were diving, but they got stopped in the air, so they got separated, which meant my Lord got full surrounded. So yeah, I mean, maybe I need to drop a preemptive zombie summon on the Witch Elves before I dive anything. But yeah, I think counts are a little bit tricky to play in 4v4 scenarios because they don't have any shooting, so you do kind of have to commit a little bit early if you don't want to just be shot. But yeah, good game. I hope you liked that. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Got through a lot of replays, and have a great night, everyone. Catch you around. Keep sending those replays. I love seeing them. I love casting them, and I learn a little bit every game. Bye.